and in the moment. And so, like, all those artists who got famous after they were dead.
Yeah.
Well, great. Super awesome. I hope when I'm dead, somehow everything I've ever done is suddenly found. And like, oh, hey, did you know that for 25 years she did this thing? Like,
see, that's what I kept thinking was going to happen is, like, I was going to die, and then then I would have no choice, but my art would be revealed, you know?
Oh, no, are you 28? Did you just realize you weren't going to die at 27? Oh, no, I'm so sorry.
Actually, no, I'm coming up on 27.
You're crazy! Oh, don't die, okay? Because it's the lamest death in the world.
Oh, no.
There's so much more to learn. The best artists are the ones who are like 85 and still doing it, playing blues guitar on the front porch.
Those are the best people.
Yes,
like, those people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, when it's your life. Mm-hmm. In the way that, like, New Orleans is like music all the time. Yes. That's the essence. That's the beauty of it. When you see people just living their lives to do it, that's the nice thing. Yeah, I think Austin has some of it, but
it's like it could be, and it should be much more.
It's got the business side that we were talking about. I think that's why it gets a little, because Austin's almost like, I would say, and to a certain extent, it's kind of a good thing. It's a bit of a set you up ground for New York or LA. Mm-hmm. You could definitely learn what you need to learn to get yourself there and not look like an asshole when you walk in the door. Mm-hmm. Like, because there's lots of people from, I'm sure, lots of other cities where they're the top shit in that town. Right. And then they go there and they're like, have you learned any of the proper things that you need to do? Do you know how to talk to this person? Do you know what an agent versus a manager versus, all that bullshit?
Yeah.
But here, there's a little bit of it, occasionally every few months. There's a festival. Yeah. You can go to, like, the TV festival and find out what it's like to work in TV. Interesting. And then they're gone, and we don't see them for a while.
But there's, like, also a huge consumer, like, we're fortunate to be, it blows my mind that I can do an improv show, and then there'll be, like, an audience there who's like, we'll pay to see this, and it's like, I'm so grateful that this exists.
I know.
Like, it's like, I kind of wish I wasn't surprised, and that was normal for people to go see theater. But, like, where I'm from, nobody would do anything like that, It would be like, let's go to Chili's, and then...
Well, but Austin also is kind of a, like, dream on a like, it's a unicorn magical kingdom that doesn't exist anywhere in the world.
Yes,
like,
totally.
It's a crazy place. Mm-hmm. It's like when you meet, there's a few people that are, like, locals that have grown up here, and you're all like, oh... What's that like?
Yeah,
like,
this is all normal for you.
Have you ever lived anywhere else? Because I appreciate everything about Austin.
Yes.
Because I've lived so many other places where stuff just does not work. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember, like, 6 months ago, I was in New Orleans and I got a ticket for parking, and I was actually happy because I don't think their municipal building had worked in, like, 10 years. And I was like, good for them! Like, but in Austin, all the things are functional. The streets are cleaned. The roads are being fixed properly. Yeah. The people who are working in construction on the side of the road are both dressed properly and doing work during proper hours. Yeah. Like, it's almost everybody's kind of on board to be like, guys, as a group, could we just have a functioning city? They're like, yeah, okay, cool. And there's ups and downs and problems, and and everyone can agree or disagree. Mm-hmm. But from all the places that I've lived in my life, it's so magical and wonderful. Absolutely. And the fact that friggin' even just the other day when I saw you, every theater show was sold out. Yeah. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's like Saturday night.
What a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
What a wonderful thing to have happen.
Yeah, and I wonder about, I don't have the mentality that some people do where they're like, okay, so I'm doing improv in Austin, now I'm really good. I'm like, hot shit. So now I'm going to move somewhere else and lose everything.
Cool. I was just going to ask you that. What's so are you like I'm here in Austin, I think I'm going to settle here, or is it like maybe you will move to New York or LA, but you're going to find more info, or what?
I would never move to a bigger city for like a career kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I think careerism is like would just like suck the joy out of to being, like, I think I wouldn't be able to like it. And at the same time, and it's like I can get a big enough audience for my ego doing If I'm doing an improv show for like a handful of people in an audience, I'm like, hell yeah. Someone's actually being affected by my work. And it doesn't matter that it's like, oh, but is it enough for me to like pay health insurance?
Sure, yeah.
Which I think is maybe the goal for people when they're like, I'm gonna make it, and this is gonna be my full-time job, you know?
It's pretty much all anyone's ever looking for is just a job with health insurance.
Yeah. It's like, it's just health insurance is the big...
It's the pie in the sky.
Yeah, so I can subsidize it with like, you know, I'm a programmer, so I do that, but I don't know. It sucks for a different reason.
I mean, do you feel like having the programming job though helps keep you distant enough to appreciate the art that you're doing?
No, I think the art keeps me from losing my mind and becoming a total robot to be able to just do programming.
Huh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I worked 2 different full-time jobs programming, and they both just drove me insane. Not because of the jobs themselves, but because of just my personality and who I am and what I need. And my second job, I actually went part-time, and I was making half as much money as I was before, but it was totally a living wage, and I was working 20 hours a week, and it was still driving me crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, I have this is the easiest fucking life ever, but, you know, and then there's a difference between, like, I don't want to go to work, but then also being like, I'm losing it, you know?
Yeah.
And so, I finally just quit that, but so right now I'm just eating through my savings account.
Sure.
You know, which is completely unsustainable, but it's like, now I'm like, I have the time to do all the things that I want to do, and I don't feel like I'm losing my mind with, like, work stuff. But It's not, I'm going to have to go back, you know, and I'm not looking forward to going back, but I have to.
Is it possible for you to learn some other computer-related skill that maybe isn't the thing that you hate the most, that then you could be hired for jobs doing other things?
Yeah, you know, the big question is, like, what is it that I want? What is it I like doing? Right now, the big thing I'm doing is Out of Bounds is paying me what for me is very little money, but for them a lot of money to I had this crazy idea where basically I made like full web applications for companies, except it was like oil pipeline tracking and stuff, and just like the worst. You know, it's just like, oh, God, no thanks. But this time, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make this, but it's going to be for scheduling, for act submission, for like buying in tickets to shows. I'm just going to make this fancy, giant web application for Out of Bounds.
That's great.
And they are like, yeah, go for it. And I was like, oh, yeah. And I've really, really enjoyed it, more than I've enjoyed any other coding project I've done. And I think a lot of it is, like, I care about the end product. I have total autonomy over things. I don't have somebody, like, looking over my shoulder being like, you gotta do this, you know?
Yeah.
And for some reason, all those things have come together for me to actually, for the first time, really like doing a coding project. But up until then, it's always kind of been, outside of, like, academic, I really enjoyed, like, the theoretical side of computer science. But as soon as it becomes, like, all right, you gotta make this application to our specifications, and you have to do it this way, and all of a sudden I have to really, really force myself to do it, and I can only do it for so long before I like lose it, you know? Yeah.
Have you ever thought about trying to teach? I mean, there's certainly ACC. I mean, I know UT isn't exactly hiring people that aren't, like, I don't know, Steve Jobs or whatever, but like,
yeah, it's something I've considered.
Falutin, but you know, ACC, and there's a couple of other schools that you could probably even teach, you know, things at, and then it wouldn't be the worst.
Yeah, yeah, that seems like the natural progression is to become a teacher, and I might do that.
I mean, people need to know stuff. Also, the app idea sounds really good.
Yeah.
I mean, you could certainly be making apps for people all over the place, for sure.
So right now I'm definitely trying to be in a place of, like, open to whatever path may happen that wouldn't have happened otherwise if I was busy working full time.
Sure.
Right. Creating these opportunities for myself. So if this project goes well, which I think it will, I think so far everything's been going really well, who knows where that will go from there.
Yeah.
And so hopefully it'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's interesting. And I think it's good to, like, try to find some, if you're in the need of having a day job, then I think it's important to just find something that gives you something to benefit whatever else you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes I was thinking earlier when we were talking about the, like, your ego is satiated with a sold out improv show. And I'm like, yeah, me too. Most people don't have these manageable egos.
Yeah.
But like the idea of managing like just overall expectations of your life. And it's like, yeah, this part of me is satiated by this part. And I also like to use the other side of my brain to do the technical aspects of the computer and whatnot. And I think it's just important to know where, like, so that you're always interested.
Yeah, it was nice when I took a break from coding for like a month or two to like get to a point where I was like, oh, I kind of miss programming.
Yeah.
Which is something that I hadn't experienced because it would have been like, oh, here's this thing that really coding is a hobby of mine that I'm just forced into making the highest priority. And then like all the things that I care about get like pushed underneath it or whatever. Yeah. So it was nice to finally have that kind of inverted where it was like, doing all the theater and acting and music stuff. But now, but I want to make time for programming too.
Yeah. That being said, though, if you make a good thing for Out of Bounds, as long as they don't own the exclusive rights to it, you can sell it to every festival in the country. If it helps them organize, why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the idea, is like... If this goes well, because part of it is I made I'm making this app and it's all open source, so, which is great. I love it. It's totally free. Boo capitalism. Let's make software for free.
So you're going to live in Austin forever. I get it. That seems fine.
Yeah. I feel, okay, so you asked a question earlier about like, part of me almost feels like stuck in Austin because of how much better I feel like it is than like anywhere else I've been.
I don't know if that's stuck. But I hear you.
Because I could be like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to live somewhere else? And like the idea of living somewhere else is cool.
Yeah.
But then it's like, but the actual locations where I'm like, I could live in New York. I'm like, nah. I could live in Chicago. It's like, nah. You know? And
yeah.
I'm like, nah. I think Austin. Like when I moved here, it was weird how well I seemed to just like fit into this city, and this city embraced me. You know, I was like, oh, I love tacos. You know,
I love that's your first thing.
But it was like, oh man, just like, because you got, oh man, all right, what happened? Like the first year I had lived in Austin, and I was like just so enamored with the city, and I went back to Florida to visit. When I flew back, I was at the airport in Tampa, and I got like a breakfast burrito at like an airport Chili's.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, this is bullshit. I can't eat this. This is terrible. And I was like, I've changed. like 2 years ago, I'd have been like, yeah, this is fine. This is what's wrong with it? It's like a burrito thing. But like, I was so adjusted. Yeah. And the same thing happened where I was in Rhode Island for like a couple of weeks at the end of last year. And then I like came back to Austin. I went to Bouldin Creek and got like chilaquiles or something. And I was like, oh, I forgot how good the food is. Because it's like the places I went to Rhode Island, they're like fine. Yeah. But it's just like, oh, it's not amazing. It's not consistently amazing like everything I get in Austin, you know?
I find that the thing that always brings me back and will keep me here is just sort of the pleasantness of people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I forget. Like, and I get real, like, you know, people can be real mean. Uh-huh. I was like, okay, but Austin mean is, like, the nicest person that lives in any major city. like... I'm from Boston, right? And she's an angry place.
Yes.
People are into yelling, and there's a lot of brusqueness. And I've been trying to figure out entirely why, but like every time I go back, there's just an energy to it. And you're like, everyone's so mad. So I went home to Boston or whatever, and I was in a train station, and like the information desk, it's her job to give me information. That's what it says above her head. I was like, excuse me. And now I understand in Boston, listeners, do not use the phrases ma'am or sir. They don't like it. It is against the rules in Boston. Okay? No. So, you don't say excuse me, ma'am. You just go, excuse me, blah, 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 whatever. Is this train going, whatever? Woman straight just screams at me like, why don't you look at the schedules? They're right in front of you. And there are paper schedules in front of me, you're correct. But you are the person under the sign that says information. And maybe you could help me a teens. Or at least hand me the proper schedule, right? I don't know. Anyway, she yelled at me, and then when I went home, I like asked somebody else something. Like I got to the Austin airport and like gingerly asked somebody something because I was nervous they were going to yell at me. I'm like, oh yeah, no problem, sweet. Okay, thanks. Like, and I was just like, I've missed it here.
Oh, I love you go to the airport and it's